This is an M-rated game, so viewer discretion is advised. The 100-Line Last Defense Academy. This is from the makers of Danganronpa and the Zero Escape series. I love the first two Danganronpa games, and I liked V3. I'm a sucker for a good detective mystery game. It's one of the reasons I mostly enjoy every Phoenix Wright game. If you don't know what Danganronpa is, it's a game where a bunch of kids get locked in a place and they have to kill each other and get away with it. The kills and the reveals were always great, even in V3. The thing is, I disliked the story in V3 itself. It kind of felt like the creator was saying, you for making me make this game. I'm very happy they're making a fourth one by reusing the characters from the second game. It's a clever way of doing it without having to introduce new characters. I was very mixed on if I was even going to play this. I had gotten a few requests for it. Usually I'd be all over it, as I love visual novels. However, I hate tactical games. I find them extremely boring. Funny enough, this isn't the first visual novel with a tactical gameplay that I've actually reviewed. A year ago, I reviewed a game called Process of Elimination. Unlike this game, which has mindless fighting, it had a clever twist where you're not fighting, but looking for clues on a board with a limited number of turns. This is about you and a few other people waking up in a school after being attacked in your hometown. You find out that you're needed to defend a school from invaders for 100 days, and then you can go home. You really don't have any choice, so you need to keep doing this until the days slowly tick down. I do need to talk about some spoilers in this game. So I'm going to put timestamps into this video if you really wanted to go into this game clean. Although what I'm talking about is a fairly generic spoiler, I do need to discuss it because I think it's one of the biggest problems this game has. Last chance. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There are way too many days in this game. It gets even worse when you can reset back to the beginning and do it all over again, only changing up the way the days went. Only with your level up still there and your memories intact. Getting past the first 100 days was so dull, and it really only picked up in the last third of the first 100 days. Before that, the game is edging you so hard by constantly throwing death game references at you. So much so I was getting angry. I'd much rather do that than having these dull battles. Then you reset back to day 2. And that's where the game actually gets interesting. They reveal plot points and stop around. It has some intriguing thoughts about the world and what they're doing here. You also get branches where the story will change, sometimes in drastic ways. People may die or relationships may change. It was a cool idea, but it really should have been 50 days. 100 days was too long. And the fact there are 100 endings to this game is just ridiculous. Now the battles you do are fairly basic. You have certain moves you can do and you get new ones by upgrading your character. There are healers, tanks, multi-enemy attackers, as well as overall fighters. They give you a goal which you need to achieve in order to beat the wave, and there are often multiple waves you need to do. There are tons of throwaway enemies to fight, and they rarely change. They add some tar to them to increase their power or make them a little bit bigger, but for the most part the enemies that you see in the beginning are the same ones you're going to see at the end. Most of the time after the enemy's attack, it ends in a boss fight, and if you beat them you can absorb their life force and make one of your characters more powerful. I ended up just mostly giving it to my main character, and he was wiping out bosses fairly quickly if I saved up enough voltage. The voltage is gained by fighting the cannon fodder enemies. You can get up to 300% voltage, and each 100% you can do a special attack with one of your characters. Each character is a different special attack, which was nice. And for the most part, you really don't need to hoard it that much, as the amount of voltage you get levels up with your characters as well. The rest of the time you're going to be going through the day, talking with characters, following the storyline, or having free time. When you have free time, you can explore the outside world, make gifts, or power up your characters. The outside world was set up like a board game, and it was okay. It had special squares with items for the gift maker, so you're going to need to explore the whole map if you want to max out all the gifts to each person. They give you random cards, which will tell you how far you can move, and you get different ingredients depending on which one you land on, or you can get into a very easy fight. Talking with characters, unlike the Danganronpa games, was very disappointing. The characters never had any interesting backstories. They were all fairly one-note personality-wise. One was murder-happy, the other one was a coward. Then there was the punk and the princess, as well as two siblings which really needed to learn boundaries. And there were a few more as well. You will keep doing this for 100 days, and that's the biggest problem. You can see the finish line, and your journey's all about getting there. The little Wiiviewer told me that my disappointment in this game might actually be that, and I think he could be right. If it was just open with no known date, I wouldn't have been so focused on that 100th day. If the finish line was only 50 days, I probably would have been more open to replaying this. Speaking of replayability, there are over 100 endings in this, and about a dozen paths you can go down. I only finished the game with the canon ending. I looked it up on Wikipedia after I finished the game to see if I got the right one, and according to them, I did. And it was also the one the game is kind of pointing you at. The 100-Line Last Defense Academy got better as time went on. However, what do you say about a game that takes about 20 to 25 hours to get interesting? The battles would often have different gimmicks to them. Overall though, they were just the same thing over and over again. I did like how you could skip events at certain points, and that actually helped you if you really wanted to try out the other timelines. But unlike the Zero Escape games, the characters were just not interesting enough to have me bother to see the other timelines. I would say get this on sale. It just isn't as good as the Danganronpa games, which it's clearly trying to remind you of consistently. But I will say it was better than Raincode. If you like tactical games as well as visual novels, you might enjoy this, but definitely wait for it to go on a good sale.